What is it about Afghanistan that has seen it earn the ominous title, the Graveyard of Empires? Nestled in the heart of Asia, this landlocked country has been a strategic chess piece for empires due to its prime geographical location. It's a nexus of trade routes and an epicenter of cultural exchange, a melting pot where East meets West. Throughout history, mighty empires from the Persians, the Greeks, and the Mauryans, to the British, Soviets, and most recently the Americans, have all tried to assert their dominance over this rugged terrain. Yet each has met with fierce resistance, ultimately leading to their withdrawal and contributing to their eventual downfall. The resilience of the Afghan people, combined with the challenging topography, has made Afghanistan a formidable opponent, a nation unconquered. So the question remains, why is this seemingly desolate, mountainous region so coveted? Join us as we journey through history, uncovering why this landlocked country has proven to be an insurmountable challenge for even the mightiest of empires. Our chronicle begins with the Persian Empire, one of the first to attempt to reign over Afghanistan. This historic empire, known for its grandeur and might, sought to extend its borders drawn by the strategic position of Afghanistan, the crossroads of East and West. Yet the Persians found themselves up against a formidable foe, the indomitable spirit of the Afghan people. In the face of the Persian onslaught, the Afghan tribes did not falter. They didn't bow down to the Persian force, but chose to fight, to protect their land, their freedom. The rugged terrain of this land, with its towering mountains and harsh deserts, served as a natural fortress, aiding the Afghans in their resistance. The Persians, despite their vast armies and deep coffers, struggled to gain a foothold. Their attempts to conquer were met with fierce resistance, as the Afghans fought with a resilience born of a deep love for their homeland. The Persian era was marked not by the subjugation of Afghanistan, but by the relentless spirit of its people. It was a testament to the Afghans' unwavering resolve. Despite their might, the Persians were unable to tame this wild land, setting the stage for a long line of failed conquests. The Persian era was the first chapter in the tale of Afghanistan, the graveyard of empires, but it certainly wouldn't be the last. Fast forward to the British Empire, an empire upon which the sun never set, but in Afghanistan, it never really rose. The British Empire, in its quest for control and expansion, set its sights on Afghanistan in the 19th century. This led to a series of 3 Anglo-Afghan wars that spanned nearly a century. The First Anglo-Afghan War, from 1839 to 1842, was sparked by British fear of Russian influence in Afghanistan. The British invaded with the intention of installing a puppet regime. However, the harsh Afghan winter and resilient resistance led to a catastrophic retreat from Kabul, with only 1 out of over 16,000 British and Indian troops surviving the journey back to India. The Second Anglo-Afghan War from 1878 to 1880 again saw the British fearing Russian encroachment. Despite initial success, the British faced fierce Afghan resistance. The war ended with the British gaining control of Afghanistan's foreign affairs, but at a great cost in lives and resources. The Third Anglo-Afghan War in 1919 was Afghanistan's bid for independence from British influence. After a month of conflict, the war ended with the signing of the Rawalpindi Agreement, effectively acknowledging Afghanistan as an independent nation. These wars were marked by immense loss of life and resources on the part of the British. The difficult terrain, the harsh winters, and the indomitable spirit of the Afghan people proved to be a formidable combination, one that the might of the British Empire struggled to overcome. The British Empire had expanded across the globe, but in Afghanistan, it met its match. Afghanistan was not a jewel to be added to the British crown. It was a rugged terrain that exacted a high price for every mile conquered, every battle fought, and every life lost. Once again, Afghanistan proved to be a bitter pill to swallow, a testament to the resilience of its people and the harshness of its terrain. Next, we turn our attention to the Soviet Union, a superpower that met its match in the rugged mountains of Afghanistan. In the late 20th century, the Soviets found themselves entangled in the complexities of Afghanistan. In December of 1979, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, a move that would result in a grueling war lasting nearly a decade. The intent? To bolster the struggling communist government of the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan against the Mujahideen resistance. The Mujahideen, a diverse group of Islamic guerrilla warriors, were not about to let their homeland fall into foreign hands. With the backing of several countries including the United States, China, and Pakistan, the Mujahideen proved to be formidable adversaries. The Soviet Union's modern military might clash dramatically against the guerrilla warfare tactics of the Mujahideen, who used their intimate knowledge of the mountainous terrain to their advantage. As the war dragged on, the Soviet Union found itself sinking deeper into the Afghan quagmire. The cost, both in terms of manpower and resources, was immense. Over 15,000 Soviet soldiers lost their lives, and the financial burden of the war was a significant strain on the Soviet economy. The Soviets faced not only the physical challenges of the war, but also a battle for hearts and minds. The invasion was met with international condemnation, and within the Soviet Union itself, public opinion began to turn against the war. The prolonged conflict and heavy casualties led to increasing unrest and dissatisfaction among the Soviet populace. Finally, in 1989, the Soviets admitted defeat. They withdrew their troops, leaving behind a war-torn Afghanistan and a strengthened Mujahideen. This withdrawal marked a significant turning point. The failure in Afghanistan was a blow to the Soviet Union's prestige and is often viewed as one of the contributing factors to the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union's failure further solidified Afghanistan's reputation as the graveyard of empires. Finally, we arrive at the most recent, the American invasion, a venture that has become America's longest war. In the wake of the horrific September 11th attacks, the United States led an international coalition into Afghanistan. The aim was twofold: to dismantle Al-Qaeda, the terrorist group responsible for the attacks, and to topple the Taliban regime that had given them safe harbor. The mighty United States, armed with advanced technology and a vast military, initially seemed unstoppable. The Taliban regime was swiftly toppled, and a new government was installed. But similar to the British and Soviet invasions before it, the war soon morphed into a grueling quagmire. Insurgency flared, fueled by a mix of tribalism, corruption, and a resilient Taliban. The American forces, like those before them, found themselves in a land that was both physically and culturally alien. The rugged mountainous terrain, the harsh weather, and the complexities of tribal politics made the mission of establishing a stable government and rooting out insurgency an uphill battle. The parallels with past invasions are uncanny. Just as the British and the Soviets were lured into a protracted war, the Americans too found themselves in a seemingly endless conflict. The harsh terrain, the resilient local fighters, and the complex tribal politics that had once confounded great empires were now the challenges that America faced. By the time the United States decided to withdraw its troops in 2021, it had been involved in the conflict for nearly 2 decades. The withdrawal, however, was far from smooth. The Taliban, showing a resilience echoing that of their ancestors, quickly regained control over large parts of the country. The parallels between the American withdrawal and the Soviet withdrawal 3 decades earlier are striking. Both superpowers left a country in turmoil, with a resurgent Taliban ready to fill the power vacuum. And both experienced the bitter taste of a military venture that did not result in a decisive victory, a stark reminder of Afghanistan's reputation as a graveyard of empires. And so, the cycle continues, with Afghanistan remaining unconquered and unconquerable. The story of Afghanistan is a sobering tale of the limits of power, even for the mightiest of empires. It's a tale of a land that, despite its struggles, has steadfastly resisted being tamed. A land that, through its history, has shown us that the desire for self-determination is a force that even the most powerful of armies struggle to quell. So why is Afghanistan the graveyard of empires? The answer lies in the indomitable spirit of its people, the unforgiving terrain, and the strategic position of this land. It's the fierce resistance of the Afghan people, a populace that refuses to be subdued, that has seen off invaders time and again. Their resolve, hardened by the harsh, mountainous terrain, has proven too much for even the most formidable military forces. This terrain, a geographically strategic location in the heart of Asia, has been coveted by empires and nations throughout history, yet the rugged mountains and treacherous deserts have served as a natural fortress, protecting its people from conquerors. The lessons from history are clear. The will of the people, when combined with the power of the land, can withstand even the mightiest of empires. Afghanistan, the graveyard of empires, stands as a stark reminder that the will of the people and the power of the land can defy even the mightiest of empires.